From our Center for the Arts Studios, this is your Ashland University Sports Update. I'm Tom Prizeman.
And I'm Kate Siefert. Thanks for tuning in. Holding their undefeated record at 18-0, the women's basketball team continues to dominate the GLIAC, although they almost lost their record on Saturday at their game against Wayne State. Luckily, the women won in double overtime, but now they are looking to face another team who also recently beat the Warriors in double overtime, Ohio Dominican. We sat down with head coach Robin Freilich to talk about the past weekend and the team's upcoming game.
What I loved about that game is we were challenged and we showed some real poise. I thought, some real grit. I thought we played to win. You know, even when we were down, I think it was 5 with about 4 minutes to go in regulation, we made winning plays and found ways in a game that we really hadn't had much rhythm or played particularly well. We found ways to make plays. So that was, to me, really a good sign of what this team's capable of and our ability to fight back. And then I knew we were going to be okay when they made a heave of a shot to force second overtime, and our kids came back in the huddle and most of them were smiling and kind of laughing because it was a ridiculous shot to go in, and I knew, oh, we're gonna be okay, you know, because for them it was more like, wow, that was crazy. Let's finish this off now. Let's not bring it down to the last shot. Andy found ways to score when we really needed a basket, whether we were down 1 or 2 or up 1. She continually found ways to score, and then Lena having 18 rebounds. Obviously, that was a big deal for us in a game where we really didn't do a good job defensively. She seemed to come up with some really tough boards. Alex plays really hard. She makes a lot of extra hustle effort plays. And I also think, you know, Kenzie's in her 4th year in our program, and she just has a poise to her, an understanding of what our program's about. ODU's having a great season. They're disciplined. Their post players are really good. They offensive rebound really well. You know, a lot of these players are now in their 3rd, 4th year and have been starting or playing a lot of minutes since their freshman year, and you can see that there's just a familiarity with their system and their expectations. You can see there's a flow among their team. So they're a tough matchup. They're having a great season for a reason. They're one of the best teams in our league for a reason, and we know they're going to be a tough matchup.
The Ashland University men's basketball team hit the road last weekend looking to hold on to the top spot in the GLIAC Southern Division. In a matchup with the top 2 teams in the South, Findlay topped AU to take over the division lead. The Eagles rebounded, however, with a 7-point victory over Wayne State to improve to 14-4 on the season. We sat down with head coach John Elwood to recap the weekend split and preview the team's upcoming schedule.
We had a tough opponent on Thursday at Findlay, and it was a tough road environment, but our guys did a good job, and we kept battling back in that game, and Findlay did a really good job of playing a little bit more physical than us. But I thought we learned our lesson going into Wayne State, and Wayne State kind of came out and punched us in the mouth, and we did a good job of responding and had a great second half, probably the best second half we've had in about 5 games. Wayne State is just a tough team. They've always been able to play some really good defense, and they're very athletic and tough team to score against, tough team to box out, as the box score showed. But we gutted one out, and our guys did a great job of communication on the road, and that's not easy to do. But that was definitely a total team victory for us. Nick Babs has done a great job for us. I think going into the weekend, he was I think he had the best 3-point percentage of any bench player in the league. And Teddy Metzen this weekend I thought had a great weekend for us as well. He did an outstanding job for us, and Phil Frensos, who's a freshman for us, is starting to come along, getting a few more minutes and starting to contribute. And all those guys, and Torrin Wetzel hit some big threes for us at Wayne State in the second half to kind of get us going. So those guys all know their role, and they've done a great job with it. And then the guys that don't play as much, I'll tell you what, I mean, that's when you have, you're hearing defense and all that stuff on our bench and claps and guys really getting after it, it really helps out on the road to have some extra energy when your bench is really into it. Ohio Dominican's playing really good basketball. It's one of those teams that their record might not be that great, but they've beaten they beat Lake Superior State. When Lake Superior State was undefeated, they beat Northwood by 20-some points, just absolutely annihilated them. And they went to Findlay the other day and made that a ball game. They lost by 4. They're a very, very good basketball team right now. Some great young talent. It's one of those games that as a head coach, there's some cause for concern there, and we've got to be playing some really good basketball. Plus, last year when we played them here, we shouldn't have won that game, and we found a way to win. Again, Marsalis had a great rebound on the last possession, and we found a way to score. So I'm sure that's in their minds that they can beat us and that they can play with us, especially here right now. So that makes me a little nervous. And Tiffin is a team that has had a lot of injuries this year, but they've gotten some guys back. They just beat Walsh pretty good at home the other day, so they're a good team, and they've had some great wins this year when they're healthy, and they're starting to get healthy.
This week on our sports update, we're spotlighting senior wrestler Joe Brandt. In his final year for the Eagles, Brandt came into the season ranked #1 in the nation in his weight class and is currently wrestling for his 100th college career win this weekend. Zach Lemon sat down with Joe to talk about his recent success.
Thanks, guys. We're here today with this week's spotlight with senior wrestler Joe Brandt. Joe, how are you?
Doing great.
Good. So the season, you started off ranked #1 in the country at your weight class. You since fallen down, still at 3rd. Just picked up your 99th win. So on the cusp of that big number, 100th win, what are some of the things in your past years here that have helped you get to where you are now?
Well, the past few years has been, there's been some rocky times and there's been some, really great times. And overall, I think my experience throughout the years, It's just helped me develop to where I am, the man I am, especially with the coaching staff I came into my freshman and sophomore year. I had some great coaches, great mentors, and the coaching staff I have now has really progressed me to be the man I am. And I think the main thing throughout the years is just the adversity that I've been through, and it's helped me become stronger, mentally stronger, physically stronger, and helped me get to where I am now to get that 100th win, which is a big milestone.
Right, so you'll be heading down to South Carolina this weekend looking for that 100th win. What are you and your teammates expecting down there in the Region 2 duels?
Well, this past season, I should say, we've had some injuries, and we really haven't seen our full potential, our full firepower for our lineup. And finally, I think this weekend we're going to have our full lineup. Everybody's going to be healthy, and I'm expecting to go 5-0, and I'm expecting my team to go 5-0, and I just want everyone to open up and have fun and have a successful week. And I think we have everything in the bag and our tools to do so.
And so even with those injuries, as a team, you're ranked 20th in the country, 16th in the Super Region. So with those injuries coming back and getting your full lineup, what are your expectations for the rest of the season with the idea the competition is going to keep getting stronger as you go?
Well, mid-season we have a tournament. It's Midwest Classic, and that's a good milestone for the middle of the season, just to judge kind of how we are as a tournament team. And we've proved year after year that we are more of a tournament team than a dual meet team. So as a team as a whole, when it comes into regionals and nationals, I'm expecting some big things. I feel like we're kind of a dark horse. We got some very talented individuals that can make a big impact at regionals, and I think we got some very talented individuals that can even move on to the national level and get that All-American or possibly a national title. Even with we have 2 heavy hitters out that are redshirting, and I'll tell you what, even with them out, I think we got a lot of potential in our freshman and our sophomore class to really make an impact at nationals. So I'm expecting a top 10 finish.
All right, it's good to hear. Best of luck to you and your team the rest of the season. And back to you guys in the studio.
In 2015, 6 of the 16 GLIAC teams announced that they were leaving the conference. All of these teams were part of the GLIAC Southern Division, leaving only Ashland and Tiffin in the South. With their departure, the conference has been making some changes to the league that will go in effect in 2018. Kate has the story.
Following the 2016 NCAA convention last week, the GLIAC welcomed 2 new teams to their league, Davenport University and Purdue University Calumet. These 2 teams will help fill the empty space created by Malone, Findlay, Hillsdale, Lake Erie College, Ohio Dominican, and Walsh, who all became a part of the GMAC last year.
I think when you look at both, it's exciting from a national standpoint. It's obviously 2 schools we haven't played a lot. They are NAIA, and so anytime they're an NAIA school, there's going to be a learning curve and there's going to be jump when they come up, and they both know that.
The Peregrines of Purdue University Calumet are located in Hammond, Indiana, near Chicago, and the Panthers of Davenport are located in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Purdue Calumet, I'll talk about them first of all. They've put a great system in place to be successful as far as staffing and with their idea of what they can do. They know they have some ground to make up as far as staffing, but they're ahead of the curve. What they bring us is, from our standpoint, is a school an hour from Chicago, brings the Ashland brand and the GLIAC brand into a new area. We think that's exciting, and we're looking forward to that, and we think that they're going to be a very successful Division II with the plan that they have in place. They can be a good Division II school. Davenport has had a lot of success. They're very aggressive athletically. They've said from the start the GLIAC is the league that they want to be in. So that's when I say they're aggressive, they really believe they can be successful, and they've shown on the NAIA level that they can.
King says one of the biggest challenges now is going to be figuring out what the optimum number of teams in the GLIAC conference is going to be. It was originally 16, went down to 10 at the end of the semester, and adding these 2 teams will make it 12.
Do I think they're going to come in and blow people away right away? I'd be surprised, like anybody. Even years ago when we went in the GLIAC, we had to figure out what worked. So I think that's what the challenge is for them, is how fast can they learn all that. A lot of work to be done, but it's a positive. It brings 2 schools in, and we're excited to see how it goes.
Ashland University men and women's indoor track and field competed at the Tiffin Dragon Open over the weekend and came away with 1 new Nationals provisional mark, 3 improved provisionals, and 1 improved automatic showing. And some of those successes go to senior Jamie Sindelar, who won the shot put, senior Lauren Ellsworth, who won the 60-meter and 200 dash, Marlisha Holston, who won the triple jump, and Eric Tompkins, who won the 60-yard dash and placed second in the 200 dash.
Now heading over to the pool, for the 2nd week in a row, senior Kaylin Murphy was honored with the GLIAC Female Swimmer of the Week. In the team's last meet, Murphy won 3 events. The Ashland men's and women's swimming and diving teams will compete at the GLIAC Championships February 10th through the 13th at Waterford Township in Michigan. That's it for this edition of the Ashland University Sports Update. I'm Tom Prizeman.
And I'm Kate Siefert. Thanks for watching.